Now, I want everybody to think about something. Why do we pay politicians? Why do we have leaders? Why do we have the Supreme Court if they can't make a rational, logical decision? Now, I want everybody to hear me out on both sides. Number one, my wife said this about 5 years ago when it started coming up. Why don't you create your own transgender league? Transgender women, transgender men. In addition to that, because some people are going to say, oh, they can get over it and be real with themselves, and some people are going to argue, okay, they should have the right to participate in sports. So you're right. Participate in sports versus other transgender men or transgender women. Biological men and biological women shouldn't have to deal with that if that's not what they chose. But on the other hand, everybody should have a right to competition, because I obviously think sports is a real reason why America is great. It gives people something to strive for, something to do. It builds all type of skills later on in life. But if you build that, you'll see if people really feel like that, or if people are just dressing up or making up to come in first because they never came in first before. Meanwhile, the one side, you also got to understand there's a lot of people that's doing it, which they won't report, just to have access to girls' locker rooms and dominate competition. Some people will do that. They was joking about Joanna Man, but it's starting to become real now. And I was talking to somebody the other day. They got all this stuff on the news about Donald Trump and all this other stuff. And my thing is, what's going on behind the scenes? See, this is what you got to understand about your mainstream media and politicians and people that got money. If they're telling you about something else quietly is going on behind the scenes. Whereas in 5 years, just like a lot of the stuff that's going on, you're going to be like, whoa, where the hell did that come from? I didn't see that coming. Because they're going to keep you distracted with the kind of shit they're passing behind closed doors. Now, we are a nation of treating people with respect and giving everybody fair opportunities. So since this movement they're claiming on the news has so much behind it, and it has so much money behind it, and the White House, like Joe Biden, that seems to be his number one priority right now, not our economy, then y'all got enough money to fund it. So just like everything else, for a couple years ago, it's probably more than a decade now, they started promoting rowing, field hockey, lacrosse. There was a couple universities that had it, but now it's a bunch of them that had them. This is just for female sports. I'm just giving an example. It started off with regions and only so many teams had it. Now there's so many teams that got it that they got Division 1, 2, 3, NAIA schools and all that. So if they're serious about this transgender movement and they feel like these people need an opportunity, then create a league for transgender men, transgender women, high school and college, and have them compete amongst each other, and they can have regional situations, and before you know it, they'll have their own section of state championships in every state in the country, rather than throwing it in there and creating a big fuss that you know is going to frustrate people. See, I thought that's what politicians and leaders are supposed to do. Find solutions and fix the problem. Everybody is excuse my language, well, I ain't even going to use it. I ain't even going to use that word. Everybody is a jackass and just tries to send it off on this person. Supreme Court send it back here. Congress and them send it over here. This person send it over here. If it's gaining that much ground and it's that important to y'all in Congress and it's that important to a lot of people in the country, when you talk to most people, they don't even think about that stuff. It's just important to cause confusion and chaos. Simply take the transgenders, start their own league. 10 years from now, there'll be plenty of them playing. And if there is none of them playing, then you know that they got into it just to dominate or get a heads up. Which to me is like taking a steroid or taking a drug or a performance enhancing drug. But if they just want to be treated fair and they feel this different way or psychologically, then they will be willing to compete against other transgender men. Because let me tell you, or other transgender women, because let me tell y'all what's about to happen. At all these state tournaments and all these national tournaments. And I want everybody to look this up when they're done watching this video. Go to Division II Track and Field. There's already a transgender woman who was born a man that was on the boys' side of the track team one year, and they went to the girls' side of the track team, and they won the national title in NCAA Division II. This might have been 3 or 4 years ago, like right before the pandemic, either 18 or 19. The point I'm getting across is, if you don't fix it, then when you start turning on all these track meets and all these swimming meets and all these basketball games, it's going to end up being men playing anyway. It's going to be people that were born males and becoming transgender females. They're going to be the forefront of sports, not women. This is why women, when y'all go overboard with these Democrats and these liberals and they tell you all these dumbass things, you don't realize that they're hurting your cause. This is why everybody, when they see something's going overboard, they need to sit down and say, hey, enough of this shit. We're going too far. This is an easy-ass way to fix it. The White House got this much money. The media putting this much money into it. Ladies, I don't know if y'all, some of y'all see it this way, but a lot of y'all don't see what's really going on. Hey, man, look. Create transgender leagues for all sports. And then they'll be competing against the same. Not competing against women who are naturally women. Men who are naturally men. And then giving them an excuse to use hormones. And then I'm gonna leave with this. They tell you how illegal performance-enhancing drugs are, right? No one should use performance-enhancing drugs and all that good stuff. Yet they're giving them pretty much steroids and all type of crazy stuff when they're going from a transgender woman to a man to compete and act like a man. To me, it just sounds ludicrous and crazy. It's a simple solution. Create their own league for them. I'm out.